It's been 100 degrees, 105, 104, even 108, 109 this last week. So I waited till today, which is, temperature says it's supposed to be 95 today, which is a little bit more reasonable, to set up my deer blinds. I'm working right now to camo it. It is hot today, but not bad, not as bad as it has been. So I'm gonna put this blind out, my little pop-up ground blind, and then I'm gonna make a little wood blind over here, one more blind where I saw the two highest concentration of deer tracks. Here's my blind all camoed up. Okay, for this blind, I'm gonna make it out of plywood and a bunch of trimmings from the trees. But this blind, there's 3 trees, if you can see them. There's 3 trees that make a little of a triangle, and it's a perfect place for a blind. It's a little small for my bow, but if I don't put something in the back, I can just step back and have enough room to draw my bow. So that's what it looks like now. I'll show you what it looks like when I'm done. All right, well, I'm pretty pleased with it. Here's the final product. You gotta go down into this sort of ditch. I'll show you what it looks like when you get in here. And you can look out into this orchard. Today is August 19th, opening day for California Archery, and I am hunting in a walnut orchard. It's a really big walnut orchard. It's like 1.5 miles by 1.5 miles. On one side's the river, the other side's the railroad track and a freeway. On the other side's more ag land. It's really challenging to hunt in these conditions because the deer hang out in these narrow strips, and then they come out in this walnut orchard in the evening, well, mostly at night. But something really cool is about ready to happen. Well, it's not cool at all, but interesting is going to happen is Hurricane Hillary is hitting California tomorrow. It should blow up and change the weather drastically by Monday, Tuesday here in far northern California, which is where I'm at. So it should be interesting to see how that changes things up. Today it's 97. On Monday they're thinking that it's going to be 73 degrees in August, which is unheard of. I'm going to do an evening sit tonight in this homemade blind that I made. The weather's starting to, the wind is starting to pick up a little bit. So I'm not sure that blind is going to be where I need to be with this pre-hurricane wind. That's what's so challenging about hunting, is just, I mean, who would have ever thought that I'd be having to figure out a scenario to hunt with a hurricane approaching, and I'm in far northern California, so I gotta get off this highway. But anyway, I park near the highway, and then I walk about 2 miles in, just because I don't want to be driving in and blow everything out, but gotta get away from this highway. Anyway, next few days should be interesting, and I will bring you along. My evening hunt was uneventful. I always cut ear holes in my head mask, and friends laugh at me, and I can see why. It creates quite the nerd hairdo. That evening, I spotted 2 spikes. The next morning, I sat in my pop-up blind, which turned out to be located in a poor spot because the morning sun would flood in the blind, making it impossible to see out after about 8 o'clock in the morning. As the hunt unfolded, spotting these 2 little spikes became really important because they gave away the location for the bigger bucks. The bigger bucks didn't want anything to do with these 2 scraggly spikes, but these spikes were attracted to the big group of bucks and would always try to go lay down near them or feed near them. So by default, they kind of gave away the location of the big bucks. Well, the mosquitoes have chased me out this morning. This tropical storm Hillary has created some pretty muggy conditions. Not normal for California. The humidity is pretty high this morning, and the mosquitoes are intense, so I'm gonna go walk around. This morning I've seen 2 coyotes. That's it, 2 coyotes. Last night was crazy. I think I got a couple of those bucks on film. There were 6 bucks out here last night, and 3 of them were really nice bucks. So right at sunset is when they all come out, and or at least they did last night. And I had a buck at 30 yards, and I went to shoot like this, and my sight is above this board on the blind. You know, it looked like my arrow was clear, but when I released, the back end of the arrow clipped the top of my blind right there, and my arrow deflected up into that tree, into a walnut tree, which I was able to retrieve my arrow, which is great, but it really scared me because had I just been a little bit lower, that arrow, I mean, it would have exploded right in front of me. I don't know what would have happened. So it was a good lesson. And that buck, he heard that thwack on the wood, and he didn't know what to do, and he came in to like 6 yards looking in there, and I had notched another arrow, but I couldn't draw back because he had me pinned down. And then, you know, big bucks are smart. He trotted off behind me and got my wind, and then was gone. So wow, that was kind of scary. So everything worked out all right. That buck's not too, I mean, I think I'll see him again. He's a really nice, tall 3-point, all velvety, and definitely a shooter buck for me. So we'll see how it goes tonight. Last night I came out and I watched 7 bucks, 2 spikies and a couple forkies, but there were 3 in the group. One of them was like a dream buck. The other 3 were just wonderful deer. And I'm in this walnut orchard, so it's like being in dark timber, except when you get below the canopy, it's wide open, you can see forever. So where my blinds are on the periphery, in like the little riparian habitat where I can put a blind in there and, you know, draw in somewhat concealment. But tonight I'm gonna try to find a branch that's kind of down and get behind it so that I can draw, because these bucks just stay in the middle of this orchard. They walk from one side to the other, and they're always about 70, 80 yards out. So I'm gonna try something different tonight. There's also some weather moving in tonight, so it's only about 92 degrees out and it's supposed to drop. The temperature is supposed to drop you know, down to like 83, 85 quickly here, and then even further down into the 70s. So the changing weather, and I'm gonna change my tactic tonight. I'm super excited. Last night I did get the bucks on video, so I'll check them out. They're so nice, but it's, you know, it's closed canopy in this walnut orchard, and so when the sun sets dark in here, there's still shooting time left, but it's so dark in the orchard, it's like done. You're done way before the, you know, shoot time expires. So anyway, I'm gonna switch it up tonight. We're gonna try something different. Last night I changed my strategy a little bit to try to get closer to the path where I see these bucks coming through, and either they didn't come through, I missed them, I don't know. I didn't see a deer at all last night, and I thought I would because the weather's changing. Today I'm walking in and I just saw a little spike over here. He's the same spike I see all the time. He's 2 spikes. I call him Dumb and Dumber. It's just starting to sprinkle a little bit, and I'm gonna try to set up, instead of on the edge of the walnut lumber, I'm gonna try to find a branch that was broken because it was pretty windy last night, and use that as cover and set up behind that branch. I see it right now, and try to get a little closer to their path. Hopefully they'll walk through. It's a good sign that But these two little spikes are in the orchard feeding, because it seems like every time I see those two spikes, shortly after I see that big group of bucks. So that's a good sign. Yesterday when I started hunting, it was 93 degrees, low 90s. Today it's 72. So we got a 20-degree change, and we got a good south wind. So you can't hardly get through this aisle because these branches are down. So I do have a little cover in this orchard, and I'll try to use it to my advantage. It's my last hunt. It's Saturday, season ends tomorrow, and this is my last evening hunt. I need to take all of tomorrow to pack up my truck, and then I'm heading out for archery elk hunting. So I had one really great opportunity on a really nice buck, and it didn't work out, but I have this one evening left. Hopefully tonight those big boys will step out. See my little that branch fell over in the wind the other night and created a great little blind to tuck into, and I'm within like 20-30 yards of the path that I've seen these big boys cross in. So hopefully it's good. It's like 6 o'clock right now. I haven't seen them come out until like about between like 7:30 and 7:45. So I have an hour to wait before they come out. But it's cooler today, so I thought I'd come out and sit a little early. We'll see. It's been a fantastic hunt. I've seen a lot of great deer. I just haven't been able to. Hunting in this orchard is super challenging, as I've explained, and I have put ground blinds out in the orchard before, and they always just walk way around them. They don't come in. They're smart. The turkeys will come in, but the deer, they stay 60-70 yards from your ground blind. So putting ground blinds out in the orchard just is like a sore thumb. They don't like that. So you gotta kind of have a lot of luck and hope for a big branch to fall down like that. Oh, my hunt's over. I sat up in the middle of the field and I just watched a ginormous buck. I'll show you the video right here. It's hard to get pictures of him. A really nice buck walk right by the ground blind that I had been sitting in the last 5 nights. That ground blind that I made. Nothing walked by it. All the deer were walking in the middle of the field. So I sat up in the middle of the field, and he walks right by my blind. Oh well. Give me something to look forward to next year. Wily deer.